Welcome to a Union Talk recap episode. With school back in session, the AFT wants to ensure every student and teacher has an environment best suited for both teaching and learning. To ensure that students thrive, we have launched the Real Solutions for Kids and Communities campaign, which focuses on learning loss, literacy, and loneliness. And in the coming weeks, Union Talk will focus on the Real Solutions campaign, featuring a mix of new and recap episodes covering its core concepts. One of the campaign's key solutions is community schools, a model that reimagines the school as a hub for the entire community and adds wraparound services to address food insecurity, health, and more to the school experience. In this episode, we highlight a couple of conversations from a February 2023 episode when AFT President Randy Weingarten spoke with Mark Gaither and Katrina Kickbush, educators at Wolf Street Academy, a community school in Baltimore, Maryland. If you like what you hear in this episode, you can hear the entire conversation by going to aft.org/uniontalk and search for the Promise of Community Schools episode. If you'd like to learn more about the Real Solutions for Kids and Communities campaign, go to aft.org/real-solutions. Now on to the conversation.
People told me after that session, I got more questions about community schools and what can we do and can we clone Katrina? So, just paint a picture for the listeners about what it looks like.
Yeah, so community schools is going to look different depending on the neighborhood. It's really so specific to what your neighborhood needs. But the way we do it at Wolf, like the number one thing that we focus on is just listening to the parents. I've been at Wolf for many, many years now, and every year kind of our focus for what is a priority for us changes based on what we hear from parents. And so we have put systems in place where we just sit and listen to parents, and then we create the things they're asking for. For example, one of the biggest things like our immigrant parents were asking for was to help understand our curriculum. How do we teach their children? What are we teaching their children? What can we do? What can they do at home to help the students? So then our ed associate created curricular nights. And so we've gone through reading, and parents sat through how we teach our reading lessons. We worked with them to give them materials for them to do with their students, and then activities for them to do at home. They wanted, at one point our parents said, hey, your after school program doesn't go long enough. And so we said, great, how about if we cut one day off of the week, but then extend it longer in the year? And they were like, yes, that is what we want. And so I guess the biggest thing to understand how Wolf works is we are just constantly in every discussion amongst ourselves, with parents, with children, with community members, we're always listening for what that need is or what that strength is, and then trying to incorporate that into our building.
And look, when people say, public schools can't change or they can't do, you just heard what the two of you just said, which is listening and then finding a way to actually meet those needs. So I have two questions quickly. One is, how do you do that? And I have to go back to the question of how you became a community school. But let's get to how do you do that? Because so many teachers or principals or parents who are listening to this, they'll say, how can they do it? And my school doesn't. So how do you do that?
So I'll just say that one of the key aspects of a community school is the dedication of resources in the form of a community school site coordinator. This is the person where the work of helping with non-academic barriers to learning is raised up to kind of the cabinet level position, where it's not somebody's second job, but it's or second or third or fourth or 80th job. It's that person's first job. And it's not that person's first job to go collect kids and bring them to school so that your attendance rate goes up. It's that person's first job to figure out why the kids aren't coming and find partnerships in order to meet that need systemically. So that you do it by having that person be an equal partner with principals, with school leadership, with teachers, fully integrated into the life of the school.
So, site coordinator, real role, real agency. And what I just heard you say is that the site coordinator doesn't do it all. You find the partnerships, and because it does take a village to do all of this.
Exactly.
And one of the things then that Wolf has done is we've looked at, I mean, as we know, teaching is hard. Anyone who works in school is asked to do a ton of things. And so what we have done is our site coordinator finds these resources, but then the leadership team has really looked at the structures that we already have in place that we have to use as a public school. And then we try and put our resources through those same kind of channels. So we train our teachers, we train our PSRPs, our secretaries, everyone about our different resources and our different structures and systems that we already have in place so that everyone starts thinking as a community school site coordinator or thinking about our resources. And so instead of teachers or PSRPs feeling alone in this, they're saying, oh, wait, I know a structure for that. We've been trained on a structure for that. What is that structure? And then they're able to quickly get support for that in this whole service part.
And Randy, I would also say that it's really important to remember that this is not created overnight. This is not an announcement that you are a community school. This is a process by which you live into and up to the ideals of serving kids' needs and families' needs so that they can enter school on a level playing field.
Thanks for listening to this Union Talk recap episode. To listen to the full episode, head to aft.org/Union Talk.